Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Cody Davis here. Going to do a quick little Okeechobee fishing report with Jersey here for anyone who's interested. Today is November 20th, and it's been beautiful bluebird skies all day, blowing out of the north, which we all know means for pretty tough fishing, and that's kind of how it's been the past few days. There has been fish being caught, been picking away at them with live bait, but it's definitely slowed down from last week. So we had our water temperature basically has dropped, pretty decent here in the past few days, and I think really gave those fish lockjaw and really made them hunker down and not feed. Now, we still caught some fish, but you really got to work for them. Back up to last week, fishing was phenomenal. We had our first cool nights last week. We didn't really have a cold front, but just had some cooler nights, and I really think that was just enough to push all those big fish in from the main lake. The week before, I was catching plenty of 2 to 3 pound male fish where the big females normally are this time of year, but like I just said, we didn't have those cool nights to bring them in. So once we did, I went back to those same areas, and where we were catching those 2-pounders, they turned into 5s and 6s and all the way up to 8s. Caught a bunch of fish over 5 pounds last week, a couple over 7, and a couple right at 8. So fishing was really good. And like I said, this week it kind of slowed down, being the cold weather and cold water, but a couple more days like this, once that water starts heating up, you can look for it to get really good here in the very near future. Fishing both the north and the south end of the lake. I've probably really haven't fished from the west side of Ritta all the way up to Whiddens. That whole chunk I've really left alone, haven't spent any time in there. But from Bird Island all the way up to the river, and from the east side of Ritta all the way over to Pelican, plenty of fish in both of those areas. Really everywhere we stopped. I will go out on a limb and say it's blowing probably 15 to 20 out of the north right now, and it's been blowing that way for 3 days. So the south end's probably pretty muddy. I'm not saying you can't find fishable water, and I can tell you if you do find it, there's fish in it. There's been some really big fish coming from down south. The other day when we fished south, we lost the biggest fish I think I've ever seen on the lake. Easily over 10 pounds. Not a fish story, really just a truly giant fish. Just ended up spitting the hook right at the boat. Did you fish anywhere south? No? Jersey hadn't found anything south. But as far as the north end, the water is beautiful from, like I said, from Bird Island all the way up to the river, totally fishable. The more you get to the outside, the muddier it does get, but it is still fishable on the outside, and once you go inside the hard line, it's crystal clear. Beautiful eelgrass and peppergrass everywhere up there, so those fish are definitely going to come in there to spawn. I think they already are tucked back in there. It's just going to take a warming trend, and these fish will get doing what they need to do. But other than that, artificial bite's been pretty decent. I've been catching most of the fish on artificial, just pitching. If you can find any chopped grass blown into a reed clump, that just makes any type of matted deal. You get through there, you're pretty much going to get bit. And then just tossing a Senko and a swim jig around's been getting bit pretty good too. Other than that, that's about it. Some big fish are going to be getting caught. Once we get this warm weather, definitely look for, there to be some really big fish being caught here. I think it's going to be really good, being how clean the water is and how good the lake looks. I think the lake's at 1330. I'm probably off by a little bit, but it's a little bit low for this time of year, but I'm a fan of it. I like it. I think it's what the lake needs right now, so we'll see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to give me a call or contact me. I'm more than happy to help anyone out. And if you want to book a trip, my contact info is below. Thank you.